welcome to another edition of Chargers Chat. I'm Dan Wackershauser, joined by Scott Kennedy. Hi, Scott. Scott is the golf course management instructor here at Southwest Tech. And Scott, you've been here a couple years. When did you start at Southwest Tech?
I started here back in the dark ages, 1999. So I've been around a while.
Yeah.
It's starting my 21st year.
So where did you come from, Scott? Where did you grow up, and how did you get interested in golf course management?
Well, I grew up just down the road, actually,
Okay.
East Dubuque, Illinois, which I don't often admit to people. But grew up in East Dubuque. Went to school in Iowa, and then eventually on to Iowa State. And I have degrees in entomology and biochemistry, which don't always correlate to golf, but they do on the turf end.
Sure.
But, after my graduation, I ended up working at Eagle Ridge in Cheline, Illinois, and my boss there said, "Well, you play pretty well. Do you ever think about getting in the golf business?" So started there, and I worked my way from Illinois to Florida, and then back to Wisconsin.
Sure. And I guess I'm not aware, was there a golf program before you got here, Scott, or how did that work?
It started, actually, we did the pre-work in 1998.
Okay.
Developed the curriculum through 98 and 99. We started the instruction in 99, 2000.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me about students that are enrolled in the program. What can they expect to learn? What do you go through in your program, Scott?
The easiest way to sum it up is we do everything that happens in the golf business. We do the turf end, growing grass, killing grass, all the diseases. We do the equipment end, so we tear stuff apart, we build stuff, we calibrate sprayers. We do all of the golf equipment end as well. So we build golf clubs, regrip golf clubs. We do club accounting, food and beverage. Basically, when you're working a golf course, you are farming, you're harvesting every day. You are running a retail store, you're running a restaurant, and of course you're running a golf course with tournament activities. So we do a lot of tournament stuff on the other end as well.
Sure. So growing up, I guess, where did your interest in golf come from? Do you remember a moment or a year where you said, "Oh, I kind of like this. This is all right"?
Both of my parents played, so that was a big advantage for me. But when I started, all I wanted to do was grab the golf cart, like most kids. So, I got out and played a little bit, and then I found out I could actually play. Got a few lessons. I started playing left-handed. I was a left-handed baseball player, and had a gentleman say, "Well, he really should play right-handed." Much like Phil Mickelson, who's right-handed, plays left-handed.
Oh, okay.
So he flipped me around, and I played right-handed ever since.
That's great. And it's interesting, the students that go through your program, I imagine they have kind of a varied career path once they graduate. What are some of the things that our alumni do once they get out of the program, Scott?
It's very wide. We have people who go into the traditional golf end. We're golf professionals, superintendents. We have a lot of those. But we also have students who go on to sell John Deere turf equipment, for instance. We have students who have opened their own businesses. They own their own spray companies. We have a gentleman in the Chicago area who owns a Weedman Corporation. So he has many, many employees working for him or with him. Restaurant people, we have people who've gone on to own restaurants, people who've gone on to own bars and nightclubs. We've had people go into the culinary aspect of it, where they're actually chefs.
Sure.
So it's very wide, very broad. We have some people who just get into other businesses because they worked at clubs, and the people who are members at many of these private clubs own their own businesses or work very high up in corporations, and they'll headhunt them out of there and have them come and work for them.
Another thing I find interesting, I've been here a little over a year, and when I talk to you, talk about the students that come into your program. They're not just from locally, are they? They come from quite a wide area, don't they?
Our students are, about 60% of our students come from outside the district. And they come from as far away as this last year as Eaton, Colorado, Fort Wayne, Indiana. We've had students from Escanaba, Michigan, northern Minnesota, you name it. Southern Illinois. If they like the game, if they like the business, we welcome them, and they have plenty of opportunities from
Absolutely. The other thing that I find interesting, and some people might not know, is we have a golf team here on campus. You coach the golf team. Can you talk about that a little bit, and what do you expect this year with the team, Scott?
Well, I have been very fortunate to have coached the golf team since we started in the mid 2005, 6 area. We have had 4 first-team All-Americans. We've had over 20 all-region players. So we have been a very accomplished golf team.
Sure.
Our worst finish in this last 6 years has been regional runner-up. So we've had a national runner-up. We've had several people finish the top 5 in the nation in national championships. So we've had some very good players.
Sure.
This year, we have, again, a wide variety of players. And you don't have to be a great player to be on the team.
Sure.
You just got to want to work at it a little bit.
Sure.
But we travel typically with 8 players, so we have 5 that count on the team and 3 trying to make their way into the team. But we let numbers do the talking, and we play and compete all over the Midwest. So we'll go as far as Fargo all the way to Chicago, northern Minnesota. So we travel quite a bit. We get to know each other. We spend a little window time together.
Right.
But it's always a lot of fun.
Sure. And what's the length of the season typically, Scott?
The length of the season is, we already played this coming Friday,
Okay.
which is very quick, first week of class, and we'll play all the way to the middle of October. But our season really doesn't end then.
Sure.
We kick in, we have simulators in our classrooms. We get into a weight program, so we use the University of Nebraska weight program, much like their baseball program would be in. So we have our players training through the winter and working 3 days a week on the simulators.
Oh, sure. That kind of leads into my next question. Obviously, we're in Wisconsin. We have all the seasons. So how does that kind of affect your teaching and your golf team preparation too when the seasons change and the weather changes? You can't be on the course, every day.
In some cases, it's nice because
Sure.
we do, if you're in the Midwest, you do have the season changes, and it allows our students to see that. So we do
Right.
blow out irrigation systems for baseball diamonds usually because they're smaller for us. But it gets us to see how things are winterized and also how we kind of summarize or bring things back online in the spring. So it does give us both seasons. And as far as the golf team, having the simulators and having the ability to play golf courses, at least from tee to green pretty consistently, is a big asset.
Sure.
We can get launch angles, spin rates. We do all driver and ball fittings. Our players come out ready to play.
Sure. You don't go to Florida for the winter or anything like that with the team and
We go to
spend certain
Florida.
months down there?
Be a nice thought.
Yeah, right.
But we do, our program does go to Florida for the
Okay.
PGA Merchandise Show.
Oh, sure.
We go to Orlando. It's typically around the last week of January, and we meet with sales reps and industry personnel down there for about 4 days.
Oh, that's great. Another exciting thing coming up here real soon, in about a week or so, is the Charger Golf Classic. Can you tell me about that? I think it's September 6th. Tell me about that event. Scott, we've been doing it a few years now?
We've been doing it for quite a few years now.
Yeah.
And the Charger Golf Classic is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a great time to just get people together. It supports the college, supports scholarships, supports the golf team and the golf program. So the monies go lots of places. We have tremendous prizes. I mean, you can't imagine some of the places that we have to play. We just got our stuff in from Sand Valley. So we have the Bull, we have Trapper's Turn, we have golf all over the state, out of the state. So we have, maybe not every foursome is going to win a foursome to go play, but it's going to be pretty close.
Sure.
So we have a lot of prizes, a lot of fun. We'll do some goofy things on the golf course. So it's not all about who wins and who shoots the low score, but it's about having fun.
Sure, and I remember last year some people could challenge you on a hole. You can do that again this year?
I'm actually playing on a team this
Okay,
year, so
okay. So you're going to be competing this year?
Jason's on his own this year.
Okay.
So he's going to be he's going to have to hold his own this year on a hole. So
That's great.
but we have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
It's a easy event to play. It's a 4-player scramble. Nothing too serious. You can have a few brews, a few
Sure.
brats, and come out and join us and support a good cause.
Sure, and this year it's in Lancaster, is that right?
Lancaster Country Club, yes,
Excellent.
sir. 1 o'clock start. You can register online, or you can register the day of, as long as you let us know where you're coming before.
Sure, it's always a good time. I was there last year. We had a lot of fun. It was a good
lot
time.
of fun.
So, and I'd like to ask everybody that I talked to, Scott, what advice do you have for kids who talk to you before they get enrolled, or they come up and talk to you maybe at open houses, or you see them in the community and they say, I'm interested maybe in the golf course management program. What advice do you have for them before they enroll or they talk to you and ask you some questions?
Well, I always want students to know what they're in for up front. And the traditional golf business, where you're golf course superintendent, golf professional club manager, it's the old Peace Corps motto. It's the toughest job you'll ever love. Mm-hmm. It's a great career. The money is very good, mm-hmm. particularly when you get into large markets. But it's very time consuming. Sure. You spend a lot of weekends, a lot of holidays, and my wife was a saint. Mm. I spent a lot of her friends didn't know I existed for a while because I was working both here and at the club.
Sure.
So you spend a lot of time there, but you build great relationships with members. You get to do a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't get to do, and it's a job where you see people when they're having fun every day. Sure. They can't wait to get to the club, and they can't wait to get out there to see you. That's not a situation you're in when you're nursing or criminal justice or any of those. So, but it's a lot of fun, and people who are in the business just like people. Mm-hmm. So if you like to be around people and you enjoy having fun and you're that personality, sure. It's a great industry.
Sure, and obviously you've been here for a few years. What have you enjoyed about teaching, Scott, and teaching these young students?
I think my biggest reward for this program is when I get that call, and it's almost always a call. It's very seldom an email. Yeah. That, hey, I got the job at, right. And you can hear it in their voice. I mean, they are over the top excited, and they're living their dream.
Sure.
So it's really fun. I just and I was fortunate enough to have a student name a child after me.
Oh, wow.
I have a buddy who owns another company. He says, "Oh, you could come work for me. You'd make a lot more money." And I said, "Well, have any of your clients ever named a kid after you?" And he said, "Well, no." I said, "Well, call me later."
That's worth more than money, right?
That's right. That's right.
Well, thanks, Scott. I appreciate it.
Thanks,
and
Dan.
If you guys want to come out and golf on September 6th, we'd love to see you. You can see Scott. He can show off his skills, maybe teach you a thing or two. Again, that's Friday, September 6th. You can take a look at the website. We have that on the screen right now. Again, thanks, Scott, for joining us, and we will see you on the golf course.
Thanks for having me, Dan. It was such a pleasure.
Thanks. And we will see you next week on Chargers Chat.